So a lot of you know me from social media doing this or this, but that only shows the fun part. This room, I've always kept my rooms in a way where I want to be inspired. On the corner, I've put a ton of brands from my friends that I absolutely love. We have masterminds I've been to. We have other friends' brands. I love reading books, and I have a big collection. This is only just a very, very small part of it. And then on this side, I have more inspiration, more things for me to wake up to. We have brands that I completely admire. This photo, I love looking at this because it's when my mom and dad immigrated from Albania. They were in New York. It just reminds me of all the hardships that they went through. Another part is this was when my mom and dad actually closed down their business in Albania. So this photo means a lot to me. We have people that inspire me like Sarah Blakely, Mary Ruth. We have my dream car over here and a ton of different stuff that I love. Come on, let's go. Hi, Mama. I love you.
I love you too, baby.
Thank you so much. You're the best mommy in the world.
I love you so much, baby.
Dad, come on in here. Are you coming to the office?
Yeah, later.
Okay. All right, let's go. It is bright and early. I have so much to do today. We have to meet the team, delegate tasks first thing in the morning, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna shoot some content, and I am so ready for it. Let's make some viral videos, baby. So usually I am waking up at 5 a.m. It depends on the season because sometimes it's 5 a.m., sometimes it's later. Usually I love taking an hour before work to just be with myself because the entire day it's always chaos. It's always me being with the team, me being with people, me on calls, me with my parents. It's never really alone time, and I feel like sometimes I really crave alone time. So yeah, I love either reading a book in the morning or listening to a podcast is a big one. It's so crazy to think, and I try to remind myself a lot of where we've been 4 years ago and how I was literally just a high school student with like regular friends, and like I can't even imagine myself not being in chaos. Like I am so in chaos mode each and every single day, stress each and every single day. It just happens being in business and like an intense amount of responsibility. Yeah, so it's a lot, but I couldn't be more grateful because I feel like no matter what you could possibly do, there's nothing that will make you grow than actually being in business and getting your hands dirty. We're in a day and age where literally you can make millions off of your phone. We're gonna make a stop at the church because I just like to say a prayer before I get to work. So let's make a stop. I really feel at peace, at least believing in something, and it just helps me calm myself down and make me feel like there's someone up above that's really kind of watching and listening and is guiding you towards something great. So this is actually our 4th office that we've ever moved into, which is pretty crazy because we have 4 years in business. So basically every year we've changed offices, but let's see how this goes. I like coming here usually early in the morning so I can get some quiet time to put in tasks for the team and just get work started for the day. So when I'm filming, I always make sure to post on every platform I possibly can. So we have Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat, Facebook. Never put your eggs in one basket. A lot of people are always scared of, oh my God, what if my friends see or people see that I'm not getting many views? I have 4 years doing this. We have 560,000 followers on just Instagram, and I still get videos that do not perform well because I post 5, 7, or 10 times per day, every single day. So it's normal, and I'm not afraid at all for us to get a video or two that flops because I'm constantly about creative testing. You test as many different content formats as possible, and then once you see something blow up, you start making pillars. Let's say this video, this one got 93.8 million views.
Hey, I like your bike.
Oh, thanks.
Do you have a girlfriend?
Yeah, she's on the hoodie.
Oh!
And this got 5.2 million likes. I mean, look at the analytics in this thing. That type of content works insanely well. So that would be one pillar. Inside of that pillar, we then do 6 videos of that exact pillar. Those pillars that you're gonna have are all pillars that are things that have worked for you, and that's where you can literally just batch a ton of content. And then on the other hand, you have the creative testing pillar, where it's just you testing out formats that you've never done in your life. This has been incredibly helpful for us, and it's been very helpful for me to break it down and put it into an actual system. Okay, so I'm in the hunt to find like a cute order with a solid order story too.
Ooh, I just took this one.
Oh, you have a good one? Okay, let me see. This is Zachary from Florida's order. And he says, me and her have been together for almost 3 years. We had our first date in the truck I restored with my dad in the picture. We took family pictures together and we had the opportunity to immortalize that moment forever. Okay, we're totally picking this one. That is such a good one. And in the meantime, we also have to find a keychain as well, so we can do the embroidery process and the engraving process as well. Let's go over to the engraving side. There's actually a shocking amount of people that think that we drop ship. We obviously don't. Ooh, I have a good one over here. This is Presley's order from California. And she says, he joined the Navy and he's leaving on deployment soon. And I want him to have something he can keep close to his heart every day. That is so freaking cute. I swear, we have the most romantic orders this world has ever seen.
Oh my gosh. Bro, I've been a hopeless romantic my whole entire life. And now I create a business where I get thousands of orders per week. And they're all people who are soulmates, and I'm freaking tired of it. Whatever.
Let's freaking do this. This is so cute. Regarding our inventory, we get all of our clothing blanks from a US manufacturer, and then all of our jewelry is actually a Chinese manufacturer. I am tall enough, they just made me go on this ladder. Anyways, in the beginning, I used to do every single step myself, from buying inventory. I created our own website. I used to outline each and every single one of customers' orders in the beginning until we grew large enough to actually like have a team, which we were lucky enough to have that happen really fast because we blew up in our first week of business. My video went viral. And then ever since, we've just had a team to do all of this. But a lot of times, both me and mom come in and like we're helping the team, whatever that we need to do. So we've grown a lot. Currently, what I'm dealing with is I deal everything marketing, social media, event planning. A lot of those are coming soon. Dealing with our affiliates and creators and training them, delegating tasks to the team. And then my mom handles everything on the back end, production-wise, because that's her experience. And my brother deals with paid ads. That's his whole thing that he does. So we're a little bit of everything, and my dad helps a lot from all sorts of stuff, but a little bit of everything for everyone. In the beginning, all that I invested into the business was really just $300 to buy a small embroidery machine. And then immediately, as soon as the embroidery machine got delivered, I went on YouTube and I started searching up YouTube tutorials. And then I learned how to embroider. Everything is really just self-taught and YouTube tutorials this entire time. Okay, this is the part where people mess up a lot and they get too confident when working here. Is you have to be so particular when putting in the hoop, because if you align it incorrectly, then the embroidery will come out completely crooked. Especially when you're doing it manually, it's very tough. So we're still trying to find like a better way to make sure that this is accurate so it doesn't look crooked. Okay, this is the design that just finished embroidering. And now we're gonna start a brand new design. Sure, there's nothing that can get caught up in it. Now we'll search the order number, folder 57J. There we go, Zach. 2 people on a truck. That's adorable. Okay, let's go ahead and start this. So they only want black thread, start the embroidery, and we lock it and we start it. How cool is that? This stuff is so fascinating to me still to this day. And I love it. It brings like a calm to me because it just reminds me a lot of my childhood. So my family is actually from Albania, and I lived there for half of my life along with my brother and my parents, and we basically grew up in their factory. They had 200 employees, which is so crazy. When I was a kid, I never understood how crazy that is, but now growing up and we have a team of around 20, to even think about the fact that you can have 200 employees is absolutely crazy to me. And being around my parents in business, I think I got a lot of the business side of it subconsciously. And so here I am today doing business, and I couldn't be more grateful to do it alongside my parents and my brother. It's been the biggest blessing of my life. The last episode I did with UpFlip, it got 1.8 million views, and there's thousands of comments. A ton of people that are saying, seems like her mom needs the credit, seems like she came from a good family and all of her success comes from her family. She was born rich, she had this in her. And a ton of people that were talking about the fact that I got it all from my parents. And while 1000% I would never have been here without my parents, I am so incredibly lucky and grateful to have them. It's very hard immigrating from another country and moving your entire family and closing down your business and come to the US just to give your children a better future. As you can imagine, it was really tough on them, and they were trying to start businesses here, but it's really difficult because it's not their language, it's not the people, it's just very different. And so we came to a point where after living for a while in the US, we lost a lot of our money and it got incredibly tough. Me and my mom really call Soulmate Customs our biggest blessing, because really when it was one of the biggest, lowest points in our life, the idea came because I wanted to gift my mom a gift for her birthday. Everything just happened so quickly. We turned it into a business. After a week of being in business, we exploded on TikTok, and it was really like God picked us up from the moment that he never let us down. So not to get religious or anything, but it really was like it was meant to be, but it definitely was very incredible, tough times. So we started putting out jewelry about 2 years ago, and they've now been a hero SKU for sure. So we have 50% of our orders are hoodies, and then the most popular is keychains after hoodies, and then comes our necklaces. So let's engrave one of the necklaces that we chose. Can you help me engrave this order? It's Presley from California.
Look at how beautiful this turned out. How freaking cute. All right, I'm starting to get hungry, so let's go grab some lunch.
Today we have chicken and potatoes made from Mama. I am so lucky because I never have to order out because Mom always cooks home food. I don't know how she does it and balances it with work as well, but it's like her love language, and I am so blessed. One thing that people don't tell you when you're really young and you start a business is how incredibly lonely that it gets, because you stop relating to the friends that you've had your entire life, and the conversations just literally don't really flow anymore, and you're just not really that into regular conversations talking about boys or talking about different things. So I've been blessed enough to see that there's a whole other side of the world where it's like entrepreneur groups. I've made so many of my bestest friends today, so they're like the same age as me, but it's rare to find people that are in their 20s and actually doing really, really great. But that's one of the things that relieves my stress, is getting to be friends and talk with people who understand what you're going through. If you want to become a founder like me and start your own business, you should look into Busy. They'll help you form your LLC, handle the filing steps, and keep you from guessing the official stuff that trips people up. And it's upfront pricing, there's no surprise subscription, and it's exactly how it should be. Anyway, I'm gonna finish my lunch and we're gonna go ahead and check how the orders are coming out. And the embroidery seems to be finished. Oh, this is so adorable. I love it. 3 of the most important things that we check every time an order is embroidered is, number 1, is it crooked? This one is slanted, but it's because of the original picture. It's not because of whoever hooped this, AKA I did hoop it, but it's not my fault. But on the other hand, we're looking at the stitching quality to make sure that the stitch looks perfect. all around if everything looks good, if there's any damages on the sweatshirt itself. Sometimes our sweatshirts or our clothing gets damaged while it's getting embroidered. So it's obviously important to see if anything is damaged and if it looks perfect as it should. One thing I do love doing is writing handwritten little notes to our customers. I don't do it every single day, but if I spot an order while content creating, or if I'm just looking at orders and I see something that has a really special story, I like including a handwritten note sometimes because it really just means the world when I see people putting in like the cutest stories ever and being so like thoughtful to their loved one. And I just like putting in extra thank you to them because they deserve also being loved. Right, we have a meeting and I'm 2 minutes late. We have a meeting with our social media coordinator, Sophia. Hello, Sophia.
Hello.
How's it going?
Everything good so far.
Awesome. Okay, what have we done for the day so far?
Okay, so first thing in the morning, I was getting ready the content for the day. Then I started contacting affiliates for our event.
Awesome. I saw we have a couple of new RSVPs.
Yes.
14 people in total.
Yes, I'm so excited for that, yes.
So let's just take a look at some of the ads.
And now I'm changing the offer for this list.
Put on one of them. I saw it.
The only thing is the offer, but it's not the same. So
yeah, that we need to switch. Okay, so instead of having buy one, get one free, now live, put BOGO in all caps plus 20% off.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, so I usually split my day where half of my day goes into content creation and anything marketing, and then the other half is meetings or calls. Like what we just had a meeting with our social media coordinator and talked about ads and organic posts. I also have a call today with one of our advisors. We have an event we're hosting in 2 weeks. We have 2 different sponsorships happening, so we're arranging that. And this is just usually how we split the day. Half meetings and calls and half content creation. So something that shocks a lot of people is we hit 7 figures. So we hit $1 million in sales our first 11 months of being in business. And it's been purely from the videos that I create and posting them on TikTok, which is really, really wild. And one thing that I didn't expect is like, I never expected for this business to actually blow up and become how big that it did become. And once I saw the numbers and all the orders and all the people that were supporting and kept on supporting, it kind of just made it feel real. Like, oh my God, okay, we're in this now. Like this is it. We're all dedicating our time. My family chimed in, came in, and it just became a real thing. I remember sitting in my couch with my mom and we started getting likes on the video. And then a couple of minutes after, we started getting a ton of comments. And then we got our first cha-ching. 2 minutes after again, another cha-ching, and then cha-ching and cha-ching. And it just kept on going and we were freaking out. It was one of the most incredible moments that I'll never forget. The first thing that breaks when we usually get a big spike in orders is we immediately need to hire more people. So number one is the artists who draw everything. Every single thing is hand drawn by a real artist, and that just makes it even tougher, but even more special. And then the second thing is having more people in office to package and whatnot. When I was younger, I actually used to sing and act, and I never thought I would ever do anything else except for singing and acting. I used to actually be in like child shows or like talent shows in Albania. And at one point I became pretty popular because I went to a very like famous talent show there. And I think everything that you do in life ties to whatever you end up doing in life. Like, for example, for me, a lot of people say, you're so good at social media, you're so good on camera. I feel like if I wasn't singing and acting and kind of getting trained in that aspect back then, I wouldn't have been so open in camera and like connect to people the way that I do right now. So I feel like everything in life ties together. One of the hardest things about carrying inventory is definitely planning beforehand. With our clothing, we don't have much of an issue just because of the fact that we have US-based manufacturers, but for our jewelry, we definitely feel the whole aspect of having to pre-plan inventory. So that's more of a tougher part. When you have consistent orders coming in and are not relying a lot on virality, then it's a little bit easier definitely to pre-plan inventory, or else you're gonna have to go with your gut feeling just like I have. One thing I wish I knew and I understood the importance of it once I got into business was how incredibly important it is to be like very analytical. That does not come to me easily because I'm much so a creative side rather than an analytical side, but you have to know your numbers and every single thing that you're doing, whether it's ads or whether it's organic or whatever that it is, you have to analyze because at the end of the day, numbers do not lie. Your gut can, but numbers don't lie. Growth at this stage looks very different from what it looked like in the very beginning when we first started, because now the most important thing is finding key people, and it's not just you anymore, so you have to hire a team that is talented and they bring value into the company and not just people who are only listen to your ideas, because you need to grow and you need people's opinions, people's creativity. So the idea of growth is definitely different from what it used to be in the beginning. This has 2 items, so I'll put it on the side. One of the toughest things of being in business is how stressful that it can be and how much pressure that there is. Pressures from every side. Pressures from your team, pressures from your customers, pressures in every side, but it's just being in business. It's the life that we chose. So usually around 4 p.m. we have the trucks coming by. We have UPS that stops by once a day and USPS truck that stops by once a day. What's really cool is we used to ship out packages ourselves in front of the post office, where we brought in like 3 bags at a time, and they literally said, "What are you doing?" After shipping so many packages, like 4 or 5 bags a day, the clerks, the people who worked there were like, "Why don't you just call USPS and have trucks come to you?" We're like, what? And so now every single day for the past, 3 years, we've had trucks come by every day, and we've had issues too, because they're small trucks and they're like, "I'm sorry, I can't take this many packages." There's bigger trucks. One of the things that you sacrifice majorly when you get into business is working 24/7 and not getting to spend time with friends, family, or really understanding yourself to do things that you want to do. That really disappears, like fully. So I feel like after you're doing it for a long amount of time, you have to sometimes step back and let yourself breathe, because even though I'm all for work your butt off, sometimes you just have to give yourself a tiny bit of space to breathe. Remember that you're human, remember that you're living this life, and remember that there's people around you that love you and that you should put in time to just live life. For anyone looking to start their own business, my biggest advice is stop waiting for it to be perfect, because it'll never be perfect, and just freaking start. If I had thought and gone super analytical within Soulmate Customs, and if personalization businesses work, or if they're harder from the rest, or what, getting the opinions of many people, then I would definitely have been discouraged and not continued Soulmate Customs. But it's way better outcome of you actually putting in the work, experiencing everything, and it's better to fail, honestly, because you just end up learning. But the key is you keep on going and you do not stop. And there's literally no way of you failing. The only way of you actually genuinely failing is if you stop. We're here. They give us a little honk to let us know that they're coming. We are fully prepared with 4 bags of packages to ship out, all Valentine's Day orders. Hello. You don't mind your face being in camera?
I don't mind. Go ahead.
He's a good-looking gentleman. Why would you mind? So here we are with all of the packages with the truck behind me. A lot of these are US based, but a lot of them are international. Actually, like a good 60% of our customers are US based, and then the rest is international, which is super cool. We have German customers, Australian customers, Canadian customers, lots of different places, which is the coolest thing ever. We've gone to France, we've gone to Italy, we've gone to so many places. So it's awesome. And it still blows my mind, the fact that we make these, we touch these ourselves, and we make them with so much love, and they fly out to freaking France in 2 weeks. And then French people are touching them and like wearing them and celebrating them. It's really the coolest thing ever. I would say go for your dreams, never stop dreaming, and don't listen to what other people are saying. Just freaking do it. Just freaking do it, and you'll find the way. Work harder than everyone else, and just keep going. Well, this was a pretty productive day. I hope you guys enjoyed this solo episode. And if you haven't watched my previous episode, go to episode 222 to watch the full breakdown of how I built my business. I'll see you guys next time.